is doing too little to check his power. With us now from Capitol Hill is Republican Congressman Dan Muser of Pennsylvania. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. I do wonder what your reaction is to that poll. What do you say to some of your constituents who think that Congress should be more involved in decisions that cost them money?
Hi, Brianna. Well, I'm in Congress, and we have a separation of powers, and we're all equal portions of our government, and we are assuring that the president's actions are within the Constitution. The Supreme Court does the same. We are looking to codify many of the executive orders that have been done, and there's been many, as you brought out, since January 20th, and that's being done so as to continue those into the next presidency, because we believe in the plan of the presidents, and that is to strengthen our national security, strengthen our economy, and sometimes being a disruptor causes some short-term fallbacks, some short-term setbacks. But nevertheless, that is not an indicator of long-term prosperity. And we believe in the end, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And we think the markets are coming back, and the results in the end are going to be very strong.
Still a lot of worries about the possibility of a recession, and we have so many tariffs that are still in place, of course, even though some of those so-called reciprocal ones have been reduced. I do want to ask you about what was a big story today, the White House calling what was initially reported as Amazon tariff upcharges on some products. They call that hostile. Amazon has since said it was an idea discussed and never approved for Amazon Haul, which is its Shein and Temu competitor. But what do you think about that bigger issue of letting consumers know what a president's policy is costing them?
Listen, Brianna, free trade for the last 35 years has really meant unfair trade. The president has come in, and look, none of us are necessarily happy about some of the market conditions and all. As we've seen, though, the markets have largely come back. They're still down about 4 or 5%, but they've come back. We needed this correction. We needed it desperately for the short term and the long term. You saw some of the numbers. Those weren't fictitious. 60, 70% tariffs in India versus 4% here in the United States.
So what about this idea of an upcharge, like breaking down the transparency in pricing?
Right. Well, listen, Amazon didn't put 20% inflation cost increase due to the Biden administration policies.
But a lot of restaurants
in this
did.
case, well, maybe so. But in this case, I just wonder if Amazon is also going to put, when they start selling a lot more in India, hey, thanks, President Trump, we're now selling much more in India. And by the way, there's been no inflationary issues surrounding products at this point. So anything they would do would be premature and would be speculative. We haven't seen inflation kick up. As a matter of fact, the report just came in. Inflation's at its lowest it's been since 2021. At 2.4%.
Well, I think this is about the actual cost of the product on the tariff. I understand what you're saying, because there are concerns that the tariffs may be inflationary overall. And inflation, certainly a very real thing under the Biden administration, which is why we saw a minority, but a significant number of restaurants, for instance, putting inflation charges on their bills. I mean, I assume an inflation charge on a bill is something that you could get behind. So if you have a product on Amazon coming from a particular country, especially something like China, and the cost has dramatically increased, what's the matter with showing that so that people have that transparency in pricing?
Amazon is entitled to do anything it likes to do. I mean, it's a public company, but following public rules, they can do that. Now, at the same time, when they start placing 50% or 60% increases, people should know Amazon's telling everyone this product is made in China. This product has nothing to do with being obviously made in the United States. And by the way, it could be being made by slave labor. So as you might want to think twice about getting that lower discount. Look, China's not our enemy, as I put it. They are an adversary. They are a competitor, but we need a reckoning with them. They've taken great advantage of us. We are their #1 customer, and by far, and they need to appreciate that their economy is very dependent upon having a good relationship with us. And President Trump is aware of that, and China's going to blink first on this and allow more of our products to be sold within China. And frankly, many of our allies have already come to terms with that because they realize they need us more than we need them.
You are considering a run for governor of Pennsylvania. In January, before Trump took office, you said that your vision for Pennsylvania was, quote, very similar to what Trump is going to do in the USA. I think it could be done in Pennsylvania. Since then, we've seen a new CNN poll and other ones that have echoed similar findings. 59% of Americans think he has worsened economic conditions with his economic policies, up 8 points just since last month. 63% of independents think this. Do you still mean that, what you said about wanting to do what you thought Trump was going to do to Pennsylvania?
Well, I appreciate the question. Well, first off, again, the results of perceived and prospective tariffs have not gone into effect yet. But the regulations that have been reduced under this administration already, the energy policy, the fact that we secured the border, the fact that fentanyl is now no longer coming in, it was coming in droves, tons during the Biden administration. They did nothing about it.
Why are you saying tariffs are not in effect?
There's a couple of it because we did a 90-day pause on them. And, of course, with China there is, but we're managing the situation. The president is...
They're still at 10%. There's still a...
Most of them were at 10% during the course of the Biden administration.
China's the biggest trading partner. That's like the big kahuna right there.
That's right. Brianna, we have not experienced any inflation as of yet. Again, it's at 2.4% because of the perceived and some of the tariffs that have already gone into effect. I'm going to grant you that. I'm not going to argue that point. The tariffs triggered a sell-off within the markets and certainly have sent a rattle through the economy. The president wanted to fix this problem. He got the world's attention. He's got over 170 nations already coming in to talk about real trade deals, and China is waking up to the fact that they need to also come to the table. Now, back to your question about having a Pennsylvania first approach. Yes, I believe in strong public safety. I believe in strong economy. I believe in Pennsylvania should be the most competitive market in the world. We're an energy-producing state. We currently have a governor and the previous governor that hated natural gas and put all kinds of restrictions upon them and has not created any competitive nature for small business within our great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. As a matter of fact, Pennsylvania is number 35, number 36, number 37 in most business categories, but shamefully it's actually 37 in education, where we continually spend more and get worse and worse results over time. Pennsylvania needs a big turnaround, and that's what I meant by stating we need a governor, could be myself, that runs things in a decisive manner, such as a Ron DeSantis and a Greg Abbott, to truly maximize quality of life and economic opportunities for our citizens.
And then how do you mitigate the prices of groceries are up, even though Trump says they're down? There are, I mean, you see there are effects of tariffs. I know you're saying there aren't any, but there are.
That there aren't any. They're more perceived than real at this moment in time. We are out of time, unfortunately. We're going to leave it there. They are in effect. I just don't want to leave our viewers with the impression that they are not in effect. There is a pause on the so-called reciprocal tariffs, but they're still at 10%, and China is still very, very, very high. Congressman Dan Mueser, thank you so much for being with us.